Blues on the bench. Number 3, Deborah Ann Delaharp, is back from Denmark. She was part of Sydney FC's championship winning team last campaign. These two teams both wearing their home kits. Of course, a battle with great heritage, these two. They've met in the finals so many times over the journey, although they are starting to become a bit of a distant memory for the Roar. Sydney, of course, have never missed the finals in the A-League Women's. Top 4 every season until this season with the top 6. And speaking of players that have played for both teams, Zara Kruger, the 17-year-old from Warwick in rural southwest Queensland, in her first season now at Sydney FC, going up against her former team. She actually made her debut for Brisbane against Sydney in this corresponding fixture last campaign. Ish Norrie actually missed the win against Sydney FC earlier in the season. The Brisbane captain, last time she played against the Sky Blues, she scored her 1 career goal in 10 head-to-head appearances against Sydney FC. She'll be hoping for a repeat from midfield today. Ante Juric, known for shuffling the pack after a defeat, but a draw hasn't been enough for him to ring the changes just yet. It means that players like Taylor Ray and Jordan Thompson, the American in-season signing, are still waiting for their chance in the starting 11. Today's referee, officiating her first A-League women's match as a central referee, is Isabella Mosson. We've seen her as a 4th official. She's built a great reputation, the Sydney sider in NPL New South Wales, and she gets the whistle for the first time in the middle today. Alex Smith still looking for his first win in charge of the Brisbane Roar. Gareth McPherson was still the gaffer when Brisbane defeated Sydney FC 1-0 earlier in the campaign. And that was their most recent win. They've gone 6 in a row without a win since then. Courtney Vine has scored already after making her comeback from a hamstring injury, but today it's a starting 11 berth, so expect her to be back up to full speed. Would you believe she's not scored against the Brisbane Roar, her hometown first A-League women's team ever since she left? 8 without finding the back of the net. Will that all change today? One of the defenders looking to stop Courtney Vine will be Leah Scarpelli. The 22-year-old American has impressed since coming to Australia from Portugal. She went to Iowa State in college, but missed out on the NWSL. And you can see there that Italian heritage defined right up until kickoff. So to get this one underway, it's Fiona Wirtz leading the line for Sydney FC. Leichhardt Oval is looking an absolute picture, so don't forget to get your tickets for your night round between January 12 and 14. And this is a perfect dress rehearsal for the venue ahead of what will be a very busy A-League Women's weekend. 3 big points to play for here, though. Can Brisbane Roar do the season double against Sydney FC for the very first time as we kick off this round 9 Liberty A-League clash? And Ish Norrie immediately trying to get an early touch, but Fiona Wirtz takes over. And Courtney Vine, the fans just realising, wait, that's Courtney Vine, time to cheer, as she hustles in front of the grandstand and puts the ball out for a throw. Brisbane Roar, some of the changes since Alex Smith have come in have been a noted uptick in training intensity and an attempt to press and keep the ball speed high, but they do remain a very attack-shy team. They actually have the lowest average XG created per game in the entire competition now this season, after Newcastle's big day out last weekend. Leaves the Roar as perhaps the most gun-shy team in the league when it comes to creating chances. So they'll be hoping that they can bring their defensive stoutness down to Sydney, but with a bit more attacking bite. Here is Scarpelli. Look at the surface, just an absolute carpet at Leichhardt Oval. Great atmosphere, fans ringing the pitch. Today's attendance is going to be bigger, I suspect, than all of the grand finals these two teams played against each other. Going back through history, Brisbane Roar have a 2-0 record in the grand finals these teams have played, but they split the semi-finals, 4 of them, 2-2. These two were absolute regulars at the pointy end of the season, and there's Tamika Yallop, who was a key part of all of them on her ascent up to becoming one of Australia's longest serving Matildas. Jordan Silkowitz is the raw keeper, and that switch of flanks sold Tegan Thompson into a bit of trouble, and so it'll be a throw in here for Sydney FC, to be taken by Tori Tumeth. Now Maddie Caspers, the youngster in just her third game. Great pass, tumbling on here, the chance, looking to score a first A-League women's goal, and against her former team no less was Zara Kruger. Game number 17 today for the 17-year-old, and still yet to find the back of the net in A-League women's. Silkowitz with a clearance down the middle this time. Mia Corbin, the American centre forward. Great back to goal work, and now Yallop brought into the play. Corbin looking for support. Ishnori is there. Thompson up against Courtney Vine. Big task today for the 26-year-old. Got a little taste of the A-League women's on an injury replacement contract last year, Tegan Thompson. Actually looked very good in her 3 games. Not a surprise she's been able to lock down a full-time contract this season. Here's Maddie Caspers out to Courtney Vine. That duel resumes, and Thompson is right there on Vine's case. Vine can't find a teammate with the pass. Norrie. Holly Palmer knocks it back to Jenna McCormick. Now a touch for Sian Fryer over on the right flank. Has probably been Raw's most dynamic attacking player this season. Mia Corbin might have scored the goals, but Fryer's the one that gets through a power of running and dribbling work on the flank. Not able to make headway on this occasion as Charlotte McLean comes through. And that's Rebecca Kirkup going back to her goalkeeper on the opposite flank. Of course, Queenslanders will know there's a very strong Lions FC flavour from the NPL in this Brisbane Raw team. And Beck Kirkup is one of those connections. Kirsty Fenton trying to jump the pass. Kirkup gets another chance. Now Sian Fryer playing the ball on. Corbin. Oh, Tamika Yallop wanted the ball played a lot quicker and a lot further up the pitch. That ball speed may be an issue for Raw here as they try to find a gap in the Sydney defence. McCormick. Here the shout from the bench. Forward runs. Holly Palmer is looking for a teammate. Fryer, first time cross. First meaningful attack of any note for the Raw, and it slides out for a goal kick. Ash Brodigan, the Newcastle ex-player, spent winter playing for the Northern Tigers in Sydney, including a game at this very venue. The Sapphire Cup final, which her Northern Tigers team ended up losing to Apia Leichhardt. Through ball from Abini. Great goalkeeping from Silkowitz to read the pass and come out of the penalty area. Sydney FC reload. Caspers. Tumbling cross, which is just booted away. Safety first defending from the Raw. Caspers just 16 years old, doesn't turn 17 until March. Younger sister of attacker Holly Caspers at Western Sydney Wanderers, and also former MacArthur men's player Eddie Caspers. Great footballing family. Foul here on Courtney Vine. That'll make everyone a little bit nervous, but thankfully she's back on her feet. Vine asking for a bit more protection from referee Bella Mawson. Going to be the centre of attention wherever she goes, Courtney Vine. She's probably seen the size of the crowd and is already processing the number of selfies and autographs that might equate to at full time. Free kick here for Sydney FC. Zara Kruger to take. Here's Kruger then. And first header away is Tamika Yallop, the veteran, able to clear the lines. McLean. Back to Shay Holman, who stayed deep for the set piece. And now Holman with a hurried pass. Kirkup has the sit. Wirtz is going to make it awkward though. McCormick. See the setting sun, meaning that players have to squint or shield their eyes over on the outer side of the ground. Shea Holman. Kirkup. McCormick. That's the ball run all the way back to the goalkeeper. Kruger up for the header. Yallop following in. Tamiki Yallop. Looking to get something going for Brisbane. Awkward pass from Thompson and possession taken away by Wirtz. Courtney Vine now with a window of opportunity. Vine jags into the box. Still Courtney Vine. And Thompson trying to recover after giving the ball away. Vine went to ground. And the attack ended up dissipating, but that was a nervous pass from Tegan Thompson. And Sydney FC were off and running. Vine coming back in, Scarpelli allowed Thompson to check back in, and good use of the body in the end. Now both teams appealing, and it will be a corner kick. Jordan Silkowitz, 23-year-old goalkeeper. Looking to command the area here, and does so with a double-fisted punch. Holly Palmer clears the ball on, but it's all happening at Sydney FC's attacking end in these first 10 minutes. Holman. Pass didn't find its target. Fryer with the interception. Corbin. Now Norrie. Vine defending from the front with real energy, able to win possession back. Quick combination with Wirtz. Now Kirsty Fenton getting forward to support the attack, but happy to calm things down. And Margot Chevet, who is still holding her spot at centre-back, even with the American import signing Jordan Thompson sitting on the bench. Big day for Chevet. Get the feeling that as long as Sydney FC are keeping a clean sheet, Ante Juric isn't going to interrupt his centre-back combination. Headed from Chimeth. Caspers. Holman. Misplaced pass. Half a chance for Brodigan, but gets a second opportunity, Ash Brodigan. And now Sian Fryer checks in. A little bit helter-skelter, and the Roar will be happy that they've come out of that with a throw. Chimeth, first season at Sydney FC after starting her A-League women's career at Melbourne City. It is very much a Sydney-sider. Be no stranger to this ground, of course. Her brother Brandon plays for the Wests Tigers in the NRL. And so it's the other Chimeth that gets to play on Leichhardt Oval today. With this pass here to Caspers. Nice little spin out of trouble to evade Norrie. And now Caspers is away. What a burst of acceleration. Sends the pass to Vine. Speaking of speedsters, Vine bides her time. Yallop comes across, and the combination of two Raw defenders. Well, Vine defending from the front, refused to be beaten, but the Raw will get out of trouble. Here's another look at how Tamiki Yallop came in to help out. And Vine trying to trap the ball in, but last touch off the Sydney attacker. Thompson playing just game number 12 today, the 26-year-old. Chevet, misplaced pass. Sian Fryer can take over here for the Raw. Fryer attacking. Brodigan with the shot. The Raw have scored. Extraordinary. Ash Brodigan firing from distance. And the Brisbane Raw have come to Leichhardt Oval and made a statement. It was a costly giveaway in the Sydney FC defence, and Ash Brodigan did not need an invitation, beating Jada Wyman against the left-hand post. Credit to Fryer for setting it up, but Brodigan, full of confidence, able to bury the chance. It's her first goal in Brisbane Raw colours and a sixth career for the 24-year-old. And after playing almost 50 games at the Newcastle Jets over a number of years, Ash Brodigan scores for the first time since March. And this is a twist, because when these teams met earlier in the season in round 2. Raw scored first and then clamped down with a defensive display that left Sydney frustrated and ultimately falling to a 1-0 defeat. Will we see a repeat? Brodigan's last goal came in Newcastle's 3-2 win against the Wellington Phoenix. You might also remember she scored a great goal for Newcastle last campaign in Ballarat against Western United. So even though it's only her 6th career, you can tell that as she enters the prime years of her footballing career that she's not shy on confidence, Ash Brodigan. And now the Raw have something to play with. And this big crowd that we're hoping to cheer on a Sydney FC win this afternoon, now they may need to find their voice and encourage the home side back into the game. Reflecting just how one-sided the game had been, the Raw are 1-0 up, but haven't actually had a touch of the ball inside the opposition penalty area yet. There's the Cove. They've marked out a corner. The rest of the crowd filling the grandstand. Great to see, and these scenes will be coming back to Leichhardt Oval for Unite Round January 12 to 14 with every fan base from all around the league. Chevet. No doubt be looking to wipe the memory of that pass that gave the ball away to Sian Fryer. Hit reset and go about trying to pursue an equaliser. Caspers. Measures a pass to Vine. Vine on the tight angle, lots of numbers in a crowded penalty area. Tumeth getting forward for Sydney, the defender. And ultimately well defended by Fryer to see the ball out for a goal kick. See Jordan Silkowitz trying to keep the energy high. Tumeth yet to score for her new club, Sydney FC. Just the one career goal, which did come in the colours of Melbourne City. Palmer. Now to Mickey Yallop. On the ball in the attacking half, really, for the first time in the game. Scarpelli. Played the ball into a cluster of Sydney FC players. Caspers. Princess Abini's been limited on the ball so far. Chance to show what she can do, and the crowd rise behind Princess Abini, wriggling free to take a shot, which then caught a big deflection, taking all the sting out of it. And that's why they try to send the ball out to Princess Abini on that left side. Everyone knows what she's capable of. 3 goals in 11 head-to-head against the Brisbane Roar, including a goal last season for Princess Abini. Holman. It's an awkward pass and ultimately caught in possession by Tamiki Yallop. Now Palmer can't quite steer it out to Fryer. Here comes Tumeth. Courtney Vine. All roads lead to the Matilda right now. Vine cutting in against Thompson. Wriggles past. The square up. Wirtz back to goal on the spin. Still found a way to get a shot away. And it did take a deflection. Corner kick coming up. Fiona Wirtz famously scored 5 in a game against the Brisbane Roar when she was wearing Adelaide United colours. Here's another look at that duel between Vine and Thompson, which has been one of the subplots of the game so far. Weren't too many complaints from the Roar about that corner kick, but hard to see where the deflection was. Here comes the corner, and that's catching practice for Silkowitz, who gets up and claims. See that Magic Maddie sign in the background. Maddie Casper's with a fan club already. Vine loses out to Yallop on this occasion. Norrie, again, reflecting their territorial dominance. The final third entry is there, 20-9. But Raw with the lead. McCormick won the ball. Scarpelli to Corbin. Yallop really directing traffic in the middle of the pitch. Fryer battling against Tumeth, and in possession now, could be able to make something happen. Not able to win a corner here, though. Not sure that Jada Wyman has had a touch of the ball other than picking it out of her net in the first 18 minutes. Plays a pass here, though, to get off the mark. And now Chevet. Floating ball onto the head of Kirkup. Raw very happy to be patient at the moment. Sydney not pressing with any real intensity. And Raw perhaps calling the bluff, saying, well, come and chase us, otherwise we're not going to start playing. Who's going to blink? Kabini eventually makes a gesture of a press, and that forces Silkowitz to pass. Corbin, very nice distribution. Palmer not quite able to play it to the advantage of the goal scorer in Brodigan. Kirsty Fenton guarding that left back corner. You can see she's got the zinc on. Perhaps suspected that playing out on that flank, she might still be in the sun for the first half. Here's another chance for the Raw. Palmer catches a deflection. Well, 2 against the run would have been quite the turn up. Holly Palmer wins the corner. Hasn't scored since December 2022, Holly Palmer. Just the 4 goals, and today is game number 69 for the 22-year-old from the Gold Coast. Corner for Brisbane. You see that there's a slight wind favouring the end they're attacking. Can Tamiki Yallop capitalise here? Jenna McCormick, one of the targets at the near post. Ball is coming back out from whence it came. It actually hits the flag and stays in. It's a live ball at the feet of Yallop. Swings it in. McCormick with the header. Great chance for a Raw second. And we saw McCormick score against Melbourne Victory back in round 1. And she knows that that was a great chance for Raw to take a 2-0 lead. Here's another look. The ball hits the corner flag and stays in. And Yallop, with all that awareness to keep play going, swung it in. Tori Tumeth led to the ball by the shorter McCormick. It's a very good aerialist. Today's game, 120 of Jenna McCormick's A-League women's career. 6 career goals across Adelaide, Canberra, Victory, City, and now back at the Brisbane Raw. Mid-range free kick here, so the Raw are starting to swing general play as well. Holly Palmer to take this time. And McCormick connects again, and it slides wide. Oh, feels like she'll be a magnet to the ball at the moment, Jenna McCormick. And that one maybe just catching a little bit of the wind, and thus leading to McCormick having to strain to try and win a header, and ultimately it just glanced off the head rather than a more forceful attempt on goal. Sydney FC on notice, though. Raw have grown into the game. Wirtz to Kruger. Kirkup backtracking. Those two were teammates a year ago at Lions FC. Abini. Now Caspers with a shot. Ultimately lifting it high and out. Older sister Holly's got just the one goal in her A-League women's career, so Maddie's coming for it. Here's another look. Kruger connecting with Caspers, and there was no intent other than to shoot as soon as she received that pass. So definitely no shortage of confidence nor license to take the game on. Corbin sets a task out on the flank here, which Chevet is able to defend away, albeit at the expense of conceding a throw. Corbin back to goal. This is where the striker can be so dangerous. Rolls. Was she caught illegally? A late challenge came in, and then Fry is able to win a corner. Here, Corbin, you saw that left foot trying to swing through the ball and did get caught there, Corbin. Waves off the referee and says, I'm all right. It's classic centre forward back to goal work there from the 26-year-old American. Here's another look at how she held off Chevet, and then it was Fenton coming in from the blind side there, and that's how Corbin ended up swinging the shooting leg through an opponent rather than the ball. So we saw Yallop take a corner from this side of the pitch just a few minutes ago. Again attacking that near post. Sydney FC awake to it. Abini against Palmer. Loses out. Shatterhand ball. A real scrap in the 6-yard box. And it does squeeze beyond the line. Referee didn't take an interest in the appeals for a handball in there. If anything, the wind is picking up here. I wonder if Raw might think about a left-footed taker. Here's another look at the handball shout. Oh, it appeared to catch the arm of Shea Holman, but referee using discretion as the corner comes in. McCormick goes to ground, and Chevet squeezing a pass. Vine, great improvisation off balance, and now Wirtz. Well, that was supposed to hit up one of the speedsters in open space, but Raw had Tegan Thompson back sweeping. Palmer, now Norrie. That sound is a plane going overhead. Leichhardt Oval. Scarpelli chips it up to Corbin, who's dispossessed by McLean, and now Holman with Vine cutting inside, gets the better of Norrie. Deflected pass. Wirtz tries to volley it on. City momentum getting forward at all costs, and a crunching slide challenge from McCormick on Kruger. Through comes Fenton. Fenton looking for the right pass. Vine. Now back to Chimeth. And this time Scarpelli has position on Fenton. And in spite of the queries to the assistant referee, well, it is going to be a corner. Let's take another look at that handball. So watch the shot from Palmer. And, well, it's caught the elbow. You see the hand was tucked in behind the back of Shea Holman. So even with the hand tucked in, it still caught an elbow. Anyway, that moment is gone. Here's a corner for Sydney FC. Kruger, high to the far post. Fenton up for the header. Silkowitz punches it away. Goalkeeper had to go and did. For those that look at the stats, Kirsty Fenton's aerial duel record is one of, if not the best in the league most weeks. Not a surprise that she was able to rise high to that header at the back post. She's not the tallest player, but definitely has got hops. And Silkowitz able to clear it away from Tori Chimeth. Caspers couldn't control the throw on that occasion. I think a late change of mind from Chimeth led to her dragging it down. Corbin. And then out of Holman, so the Raw get possession in their attacking half. We haven't seen Tegan Thompson venture forward too much. You'd forgive her for not doing so, given that she's marking Courtney Vine on that flank. Norrie. Yallop had a quick head check of what's going on ahead of play. Ultimately gave up the ball, though. Vine. Now Ibini, big 50-50 coming up. Norrie kept her feet. Ibini went to ground. Caspers is there, though, for Sydney FC. Now Vine, back to Caspers. Cleared by Scarpelli. Corbin, lone hand up top. But McLean is still thinking of conceding a throw rather than playing a back pass. Palmer shins one down towards the corner. Corbin trying to make it awkward in a show of strength here against Chimeth, and ultimately wins the ball. And now it will be a corner after spinning out, and that was just good persistence from Mia Corbin. You can see the freshly painted lines made it a very easy decision to let play shake out. So we've seen a couple of corners from the opposite side. Now Holly Palmer's on corner taking duty from the left. Mia Corbin and Jenna McCormick, the two obvious targets. Beck Kirkup's quite a tall player as well. See her there standing next to the goalkeeper, Jada Wyman. Where's it headed off the boot of Palmer? Right into the mixer and knocked away. Ball recycled back out to Palmer. Back in it comes. Corbin challenging, and there were a wall of Sydney players in the form of Chevet and Fenton, but it must have deflected off one of them because it's going to be repeat corners from the opposite side. So a couple of queries from Raw's aerial attack, and Sydney FC repelling them both. But they've still got another corner to deal with here. Yallop. And ultimately sliding out off the head of Scarpelli. Still yet to score her first goal in the A-League Women's. Former USA Under-17 Youth International. Thompson. Scarpelli staying forward in broken play off the set piece. But can't combine with fellow American Corbin. Do they get another chance here, the Raw? It's all a bit scrappy. Fryer, well, indiscriminate grab from Chimeth. Fryer continues on, and now Chevet comes across. And not a surprise that Fryer spins around to inquire to the referee, because that was a bit more Brandon than Tori Chimeth there, that tackle. Pretty clear grab of the body. Anyway, play continues. Norrie, McLean, and the Raw continue to probe, continue to keep the Sydney FC defence under pressure here. The confidence of having one goal in the bank has transformed this game. Sydney FC were territorially dominant until the Raw were able to break through with Ash Brodigan's strike. Scarpelli, low skimming pass this time. Kirkham. Brodigan to Yallop. Yallop sees a little pocket of space to exploit, and then a great stand-up challenge from Chevet. Not daunted by taking on the Matilda in Yallop, able to win the ball cleanly. Silkowitz is absolutely at home, roaming out to the edge of the defensive third. Really doesn't observe the bounds of the penalty area. Silkowitz is totally at home as a ball-playing goalkeeper, getting out of the penalty area. Just to make such a difference, having one extra confident player on the ball at that end of the pitch. And for now, it leaves Sydney FC chasing shadows. The Roar able to play the ball around their defence reasonably comfortably. When does Ante Juric start to call for the trigger press and a bit more pressure on the ball carrier? Certainly not the coolest day, but he's got the puffer jacket out. Once again, Silkowitz right up to the edge of the defensive third in order to retrieve the ball. It's reflective of how things tactically are starting to really go Roar's way. They're going to do some defending here. McCormick, Scarpelli. Holman able to ride the challenge of Palmer. Didn't take a backward step. Neither player really. Wyman from the last line of defence. Onto the head of Norrie. Danger here for Sydney FC. Chevet clears. Norrie, another chance. You see Roar 62% of possession. And with Taylor Ray on the bench, you'd think that Sydney FC might be contemplating how they will restructure the midfield to address that massive discrepancy in the second half. If not, maybe even sooner. All the subs are currently off warming up. Taylor Ray might be the obvious choice to bring on for a bit of a greater midfield presence, though. Here's Holman. Wirtz. McCormick able to stand up the defender, and ultimately the decision comes, and it's Roar's way. Fiona Wirtz is not happy about that. Three goals this season, Fiona Wirtz, coming in the first two games of her campaign. Means that she's 3 in a row without a goal now. Clearly felt she was fouled by McCormick. The referee felt differently. Yallop. Spinning away from Holman to Mickey Yallop. Slides it through the left channel. Fryer, the cutback's on. And Jada Wyman able to pick it off. It was only Corbin to aim for, so it had to be precise, and the goalkeeper had the angles covered. Caspers. Out to the flank for Vine, and Thompson just knocks it away. Starving Courtney Vine of supply at the moment, the Brisbane Roar. Thompson at left back, Leah Scarpelli the left centre back. Trying to keep those avenues to Courtney Vine closed at the moment. Wirtz on the turn. Palmer. Counter-attack is on here for the Roar. Palmer maybe just hesitated and engaged McLean, but is still able to win a foul, and it's a yellow card as well. First of the game. And so that run from Holly Palmer is able to win not just a foul, but the first card of the game as well. So Charlotte McLean will have to watch her step. Norrie. Interception by Chimeth, but it deflects to Thompson, and now Courtney Vine is being made to defend in the other direction. First time we've seen Courtney Vine have to come this deep in defence. And that's because Tegan Thompson is becoming increasingly confident getting up the pitch, and that's what happens when your team has over 60% of possession. Fullbacks start getting into more advanced positions to support the attack. Here's Corbin, back to goal, going to work. Can't find Palmer, and the ball is cleared, but there's no one up top for Sydney FC. Silkowitz just chips it away from the oncoming attacker. Scarpelli. So it's eventually compelled to clear. Corbin's flick header on, no one home. As far as what this does to the ladder, Sydney FC still have 2 games in hand. They'll catch those up over January when they were away at the AFC Women's Club Championship. Those matches are against Canberra and the Central Coast. So right now, Brisbane Roar are up to 12 points. They would be holding 6th place before the rest of the weekend. Sydney FC on 10 points, but with 2 games in hand. And for those of you that didn't catch the earlier result, Western United have jumped up to 5th by virtue of defeating Perth Glory 1-0. So the table is compressing. Everyone's getting closer together. And now free kick going Sydney's way, and the crowd showing their appreciation. Matty Casper was able to get the decision. Kruger with the flick on. Wirtz still a long way from the box. Kruger. The crowd start cheering. They want Sydney FC to get their attacking rhythm back. First 10-15 minutes, it was really Sydney FC working through the gears, building to a crescendo, but it never arrived. The goal came at the other end. And now things have looked so much more stifled for Sydney FC whenever they try to attack. It's almost like the Raw defence needed a warm-up, and then once they were warm, all the gaps closed. Here's Wirtz with a speculative attempt. Abini trying to read it in the air. It falls dangerously. Wirtz was there. Courageous defending. And eventually a foul decision comes. Bodies on the line, stuff from both teams. Have another look here. It was an awkward speculative shot from Fiona Wirtz, and Princess Abini, it's off the back of Kirkup's head, and then Scarpelli wiped out by Wirtz. And Scarpelli got to the ball first, and that's why the free kick is going Raw's way. And so a free kick deep in defence for the Brisbane Roar. The first half, which is increasingly tilted their way. Ishnori's been key to making things happen for the Brisbane Roar. Completed 18 of 20 passes in this first half, reflective of not just dominating possession, but accuracy with the passing, refusing to give the ball away. Here she is again. Well, it's a completed pass out to Thompson. That's not. It misses Mia Corbin. Can Sydney FC find a burst in these last 5 minutes of the half? Bring the crowd into the game a little bit more. Early throw from Tumeth. Wirtz will spin around and survey the options. Well, pass to no one in particular. Fenton's got to go in order to make it a contest, and go she did. Fenton drops the shoulder on Kirkup, and the cross is deflected away. Here's the follow-up from Kruger. Back to Fenton. Great change of direction. Fenton into the near post, and the tap-in for Courtney Vine! Leichhardt Oval explodes as the Matilda star they all came to see, Courtney Vine, draws the game level 1-1. Second goal of the season for Vine, and you've got to credit the creativity of Kirsty Fenton out on the wing, swinging in that cross. Here's another look. What a ball. Took 3 defenders out of the equation and the goalkeeper. Here's another look at how she just dropped the shoulder, said goodbye to Kirkup, and then bent it into the path of Vine, who lunged in. And even though her 2 goals this season have both been tap-ins in the 6-yard box, they mean the world for Sydney FC. And it's the first time Courtney Vine has scored against her former team, the Brisbane Roar. 9th appearance against them today, ever since she left back in 2017. And it is her first goal against her former side and her home state. And so the game's level. And there was a twist in the tail before half-time. Courtney Vine starting to heat up, plays the pass through. Caspers in a yard of space. Decision time for the youngster. McCormick once, twice. Caspers finds her feet again, squeezes it out of a jam, and now Vine's in possession. And the heart rates rise, but it's headed away by Norrie. Holman, Corbin getting back. The centre forward came back to help out the defence. And Roar sensing here that the momentum is well and truly swung. Driven away by Scarpelli. They just need 2 good minutes now, the Brisbane Roar, in order to preserve this lead to half-time, because Sydney FC have sensed the chance to do a full 180 in quick time. Caspers, Wirtz, chinking into the box. Wirtz, it sits up at the edge of the 6-yard area and cleared away by Holly Palmer. Did the ball go out? Referee says it did. Well, Kirsty Fenton will be full of confidence down that wing now with that assist a moment ago. Throw in, McCormick catches a deflection, goal kick. And that is a chance for Raw to put a foot on the ball and calm everything back down. So 2 well-taken goals, one from outside the area by Ash Brodigan, one from Courtney Vine, finishing off the great work of a teammate. 20 total shots in the game so far. Lots of attacking going on. And a promise of more goals in the second half if we don't get one in stoppage time at the end of the first. Brisbane Roar want to retake the lead. Trying to bank 6 points from 6 against Sydney FC for the first time in the history of the W League or the A League. It was the odd season over the journey where they played just the one home and away game and the Roar won it, but in the years where they've played each other home and away, the Roar have never pulled it off. Vine, look at the burst of acceleration, and now the pitch opens up for Courtney Vine. Wirtz has a beanie only in the middle, and jumping the pass there, Thompson able to clear it out for a throw. Jimeth to Vine. Corbin. Bit of a lone handover on the wing. Support arrives in the form of Palmer. Brodigan trying to escape out on the right. Oh, no support for Brodigan though. Everything stalls just a little, but Kirkup has made a good forward run. And the Roar are still in attack. Kirkup, all about the cross. In at the near post, a bit too close to Jada Wyman as we enter 2 minutes of additional time. And Jada Wyman is hurt here. I wonder if she's been winded by where the ball struck her. You see she's holding onto the ball between her knees. Let's have another look here. Is it how she landed on the ball that appears to have just taken the wind out of her? We saw this happen to Melbourne Victory's Ella O'Grady in a game earlier in the season. She fell on the ball and was seemingly affected by a abdominal injury for the rest of the game. Jada Wyman. All smiles, good news, and it'll be a drop ball to restart play. So half of stoppage time, funnily enough, spent on assessing really the first injury of note in the first half. Wirtz with the flick header on. Courtney Vine, career goal number 28 in the A-League Women's, closing in on game 100. She's up to 92 today. Across a career that started in Brisbane with 18 appearances. Here's Vine. Dispossessed by Scarpelli. So stoppage time is up. Referee might feel a little bit generous due to the delay for Jada Wyman a moment ago. So is there one more meaningful attack to be constructed at the end of the first half? Chevet. McLean finds Caspers. Caspers back to Holman. Vine. Courtney Vine just drifting, and the passing channel was blocked by Norrie. The Raw come away with the ball. Can they counter? Fryer just bides her time. Seemingly still time for Brisbane. Brodigan. Well, a back pass here might be enough to tempt the referee to say that'll do, and indeed it does. So a big crowd enjoying a great spectacle at the home of Unite round. Leichhardt Oval so far. The majority of fans wearing sky blue got what they came to see, which was a Courtney Vine goal, but not before the Brisbane Roar had taken firm control of the contest, both in general play and on the scoreboard. Ultimately, though, things are square, and there is plenty more to the scoring, because at halftime of this one, it is Sydney FC 1, Brisbane Roar 1. So let's take a look at the first half highlights between these two sides. Given away by Chevet there to Fryer, and that is what led to the Raw venturing forward. The long shot from Ash Brodigan, and that was before the Raw had even had a touch inside their attacking penalty area. They didn't do so in the first 10 minutes, but they did have a goal to show for it. Ash Brodigan with her first for the Brisbane Roar and her 6th career in the A-League Women's. And that really sparked about a 25-minute period of dominance for the Brisbane Roar, but they couldn't score a second. And then Brisbane were levelled here. Kirsty Fenton with the great change of direction. Cross that took 3 defenders out of the equation. What an assist. And Courtney Vine did the rest, lunging in and timing that little touch into the roof of the nets. 1-1 at the break. Courtney Vine scoring her 2nd of the season and 28th career A-League Women's goal. So what do the numbers tell us other than the scoreline? Well, Raw dominating possession there. And you can also see pass accuracy. They are significantly better. Just the 1 yellow card in that first half. And if you're into XG, Sydney FC 1.19, Raw 0.66. Intriguing second half on the other side of this break. Stay with us. Welcome back to live pictures from Leichhardt Oval, January 12 to 14. This is where Unite Round will host double headers in the A-League Women's, the Liberty A-League on both the Friday and the Saturday. So get your tickets now. It is going to be atmospheres like this, fun on the hill, great weather, and we are having quite the spectacle in terms of the game as well. 1-1 the halftime score. Let's take a look at how we got here in the first half. Brisbane Roar had not had a touch in their attacking penalty area in the first 10 minutes, and they still hadn't when Ash Brodigan put this shot past Jada Wyman to make it 1-0 in the 11th minute. And so Brisbane Roar at the time scoring against the run, and they held that lead right up until the dying minutes of the first half, when Sydney FC recycled the ball back out to Kirsty Fenton, who with a great change of direction was able to provide for Courtney Vine, and that really brought the crowd to life. Courtney Vine with the equalising goal, and Sydney FC with a foothold back in the game. 1-1. Ish Norrie having a great first half passing accuracy. Look at the dual stats as well. Ish Norrie really making the Raw midfield tick. Sydney FC perhaps lacking a bit of a presence there against the Raw captain, who did miss the first head-to-head between these two teams up in Brisbane, even though Raw got a 1-0 win. Zara Kruger's been sent back out to start the second half along with Shay Holman in that midfield. Very young Sydney FC midfield. Holman, the senior partner at 18 years of age. Kruger just 17. Maddie Caspers, 16. And so Taylor Ray, by contrast, a veteran at the age of 22, still biding her time on the bench. Raw out of their huddle. They want to take kickoff. They want to get this second half underway as the artificial light starts to take over at Leichhardt Oval. Freshly painted lines, and Mia Corbin of the Brisbane Roar ready to get this second half underway. A draw would leave both these teams stuck mid-table at the mercy of the rest of the weekend. Sydney with 2 games in hand, currently sitting 6th, Raw 8th. The value of a win is apparent as we get the second half back underway. Both these teams will be acutely aware that the road to the top 6 in finals will be a lot easier if they can grab all 3 points tonight. Holly Palmer sending the ball back to Jenna McCormick, and now Beck Kirkup. A little bit hard against the line though for Ash Brodigan, the first half goal scorer for the Raw. Neither team has turned to the bench just yet, so intriguing as to what the substitution strategy will be in the second half. Charlotte McLean, long ball, just volunteering possession up to Jordan Silkowitz, who had such an excellent first half in possession and distributing the ball, but ultimately not able to keep Sydney FC from scoring right at the end of that first 45. Just a defence-splitting cross from Kirsty Fenton that took both the defenders and the goalkeeper out of the equation. And the crowd finds its voice at the start of the second half as well. Here's Holman battling. Thompson, now Yallop. Tamiki Yallop. All the way back to Silkowitz again. McCormick trying to up the tempo. Palmer to Norrie. Out to Sian Fryer, who's got Tori Chimeth going with a step for step here. Fryer trying to get a breakthrough, and Chimeth just leaving a goal side, and now Vine comes in to help out, as does McLean, and the ball is cleared away. Oh, left hanging in midfield. Abini nearly able to steal it and go. Covering defender, saving the day for the Brisbane Roar. Norrie, clever touch to open up the pitch, and now she can break into space. Ish Norrie still going. Does she fancy the long shot blocked away by Fenton? The follow-up's on for Yallop, straight at the goalkeeper. Well, great chance for Raw. First meaningful opportunity of the second half. And it was Ish Norrie who got it going, and then Yallop, who ultimately tested the goalie. Courtney Vine. Listen to the screams of excitement as Vine breaks into the penalty area. And everything just decelerated at the end of the run, but Vine able to manufacture a cross and puts it on the roof of the net. So action at both ends to start the second half. Norrie, Fenton was able to come in late, but the ball still deflected to Yallop, trying to score in the A-League Women's for the first time since April 2021. That was in Raw's ill-fated semi-final defeat to Melbourne Victory. Last time Tamika Yallop found the back of the net in this competition. Of course, stints overseas since then before returning this season off the back of the World Cup. Such a prolific goal scorer, especially in her younger days when she was playing a more attacking role to Tamika Yallop. 58 career goals in the A-League Women's. Of course, with Michelle Heyman closing in on 100, she's the runaway top scorer, but Yallop still encamped in the top 5. Probably will be for some time, even as the season length starts to get considerably longer. McCormick's pass. Here is the aforementioned Yallop. Third highest scorer all time in the Liberty A-League. Heyman 97, Sam Kerr 70, Yallop 58, Kaya Simon 50. And you've got to go down a fair way to find the next highest active player in the league. Melina Ayres on 31. So no one's coming for Tamika Yallop on the podium just yet. Here's Corbin. Wheeling and dealing down in the corner. Back to Kirkup. 5 second half minutes. Raw have had the best chance so far. Thanks to this player here, Ish Norrie, who's having a day out here. Norrie defers, and the cross comes in from Brodigan. Bit of aerial ping pong at the edge of the box. Norrie's there, got it back on the ground, and now cleared away by Chimeth. And the referee's whistle will allow Sydney FC to leave via a free kick. Worth mentioning that it is first A-League women's game for Isabella Mawson. It'll be the same thing for Michaela Ryan in the match between Wellington Phoenix and the Newcastle Jets tomorrow. So a couple of emerging referees getting their first games in the Liberty A-League as central referees. Corbin. Palmer not able to turn and go. Good tracking run from Caspers to wrap her up and extract the ball. Kruger. Oh, was that a handball? Vine trying to capitalise. He's got Wirtz in support. Well, if anything, luck's a fortune for Tegan Thompson because it was just enough to hold up the ball. But they're not out of danger yet, the Raw. Abini. Kruger in traffic. Slides it back out to the right. Chimeth getting forward. Wirtz calls for it in the middle, but Chimeth went direct on target. And it was held onto by Silkowitz. Just heard from the effects mic there, that's a yellow card. So the protest on the Sydney FC bench continues, but the moment has passed. Kirkup. And that pass will slide all the way down to McLean. Long ball from McLean. Flag is up for offside. Courtney Vine straying beyond the defensive line. But let's take a look at a moment ago. This is outside the penalty area. Should you bring it back for a free kick? I mean, it's a clear handball. I guess the question is, did Sydney FC take an advantage? I mean, it's probably a good shout that it's a yellow card. Anyway, referee saw it differently. Play continues. free throw in here for Sydney FC. I'm not sure they have a long throw specialist. Tori Chimeth short down towards the corner. Sydney appealing for a corner, and they'll get it here. So we saw Tamiki Yallop take all the corners from this side of the pitch right-footed in the first half for the Brisbane Roar. Zara Kruger perhaps going to do something similar here. The wind is probably about the same as it was in the first half. A little blustery. Kruger sets it high. First head away was Scarpelli. Caspers sliced the volley. Did not strike with conviction. And it's out for a goal kick. And the youngster Caspers, we've seen her have 2 shots now. First in the first half, which went over the bar, and that one going wide. Hard to believe it's only game 3 for the 16-year-old. Looking right at home in the A-League Women's. It's a good initial header from Scarpelli. Just didn't get over the ball with the technique there. Young Maddie Caspers. McLean and Wyman almost treading on each other's toes. Chevet will try to get Sydney FC out of trouble, but good defending from the front there from Brodigan, just to hold them up. Ibini. McLean switching out to the left side. Oh, nearly hit Ibini in stride. First touch not quite there for the Sydney FC captain. One goal so far this season. I mentioned in the first half, this is her 12th head-to-head appearance against Brisbane. She scored 3 career against them. McCormick striding out of defence. Holman's header, Yallop, and just misdirected the pass. Sydney FC get the throw. Vine. Chimeth. Tumbling clearance this time, right into a duel which McLean gets the better of. Fenton's pass, switching flanks out to the right. Vine just feeding it underneath. All the work to do for Kruger, but she's back, able to win the ball away. And now Vine. Run was blocked, and blocked effectively. Holman. Bit of an arm wrestle going on at the moment. Who's going to get the breakthrough here in the second half? Both teams trying to assert their style of football on the match. Sydney have got the territorial advantage, if nothing else. McLean right up in the attacking half. And then the interception made by Fenton here. It's interesting how organised Sydney FC are to just drop Shea Holman into the centre of defence whenever Charlotte McLean sees the need to venture forward. That's a back pass that is going to sell her into trouble, though, because the Raw, through Palmer, have a window of opportunity. Palmer. Now Brodigan. And the deflected pass is cleared away by McLean. Kruger. Oh, and Vine has escaped. Thompson committed to the ball, and Vine was able to exploit the territory. But fires over when the finish was there. Courtney Vine, who's had Tegan Thompson wearing her like a glove at times, was able to give her the slip but could not keep the shot down when the moment arrived. You see Thompson got back into the frame, but not really able to affect the attempt on goal from Courtney Vine. As we approach the hour mark, who is going to act first on the bench as well? Brisbane Roar making their new signing today. Former Sydney FC player Deborah Ann Delaharp was a substitute in the grand final for them last season. She's waiting amongst the subs, a Sydney sider no less, so we'll be pulling on the orange colours of Brisbane Roar for the remainder of the season. A great pickup, having come back from Denmark, where it was a brief stint with HB Koga. Kruger. Little underneath pass that's not quite to the advantage of Vine, and Scarpelli clears. Wirtz knocks it back to Vine. Chimeth helping out. And the Roar guarding down in the corner. And a throw in coming. Well, game just in a holding pattern at the moment. I used the term arm wrestle a couple of minutes ago. And that continues. Chimeth in two minds about where to throw the ball. Wirtz able to evade a couple of defenders, but there's a real cluster around the ball, and the Roar eventually prevail. Brodigan turned back inside, but it's all Sydney FC in the midfield. McLean's giveaway. Norrie. Now Palmer. Corbin. And the Roar are on the move. Yallop advancing on goal and did not get the shot effectively away. McLean able to sweep through and take it off Yallop. Well, things just unfolded there for the Roar ever so promisingly. And now Sydney FC can counter. Courtney Vine working through the gears, hitting top speed. Cuts it inside for Wirtz. And ball stuck between the feet. Wirtz bounces back up, gets the shot away. But it's blocked down to Silkowitz. Well, that started with a great chance for the Roar to take a 2-1 lead. After all that resistance and the ball being stuck down in the corner, it broke into open space, and Mia Corbin very nearly playing the assist for Tamiki Yallop. Just couldn't get the shot away. Kirkup. Back pass to Silkowitz. It's not going to get close to the halfway line, so Sydney FC hunting the ball, but Corbin did well, took two opponents out of the equation. And now Yallop, Roar on the move again. Great chance a moment ago. Yallop. Brodigan underhits the pass. Corbin back to Brodigan. Well, if that was an attempt on goal, that's wide, as opposed to maybe a miss-hit cross. So let's take a look at these chances. Good leave by Brodigan. Saw Yallop advancing, and maybe it was just an awkward angle to try and free the feet. Vine at the other end. Cut it back to Wirtz, and Wirtz attracted a crowd. And even though she was back up to her feet, Scarpelli did enough to block the shot. And it only rolled down to the goalkeeper in the end. Still end-to-end action. Both teams will feel as though they're good value to win this game right now. They've both had periods of dominance. Norrie. So we've gone beyond the hour mark. Still no activity on the benches. Subs are warming up, though. You can see those empty seats on the Sydney FC bench at the foot of the screen. It means that they're all off going through their paces. Who will be the first called upon, though? McLean. Hopeful ball for Abini. Always seemed just a little overhit and difficult to chase down. And Princess Abini goes back and takes up position on the left flank. Here goes Chevet. Now Caspers, a deflection. That shot might have had designs on the top right, but the deflection took all the juice out of it. Norrie's pass jumped by Holman, but Norrie will win it back with the intercept. Yallop. Fryer. And wins a foul here. It's been a much quieter start to the second half from Sian Fryer. Think back to the Wanderers game last weekend. She was a real thorn in Wanderers' side, particularly in the first half. So just hasn't been quite as prominent tonight. It's got Tori Tumeth as the right back over on that side of the pitch. Sydney hunting the ball. They can just sense a bit of disorganisation in the raw there. And they're able to force the turnover. They've been very selective on when to press so far in the game, Sydney FC. And that was one of the moments where they really went and hunted the ball. Holman. Chevet. Incisive pass. Wirtz. Surveying the options. Abini. Engages the contact from Norrie. Does Princess Abini, and Norrie prevails. Yallop capitalising. After a bit of pondering, the Raw start to venture forward. Tegan Thompson. Vine coming across to try and block her path. Thompson, the confidence to break central. But the Raw are forced backwards. Norrie against Caspers. Bit of grabbing going on. Corbin. Not quite leading the line, the number 9, so drop back into midfield for a moment. Through comes Kruger. Only briefly, Yallop. And now give it away, Caspers. Abini. Not much going in terms of support, so Abini has to concede 10 metres. And now the whistle goes, and there's a bit of confusion as to why. Might be a late call there for a foul on Abini. So a midfield free kick for Sydney FC. You can see how they've set up, though. They've committed plenty of numbers to the edge of the box. Chevet going for distance. Brisbane maintaining that advantage of possession, more than 60%, continuing on from the first half. Here goes Fryer. Trying to switch back on and re-engage with the game here, Sian Fryer. Rolled it out to Corbin, maybe telegraphed the pass. McLean came through. Caspers. Now Vine. Back to McLean. Heavy first touch. Gave up the ball to Palmer. Fryer. Saw that driving run a moment ago. On this occasion, wants to consolidate. Scarpelli, the body language tells the story. And just goes for distance, driving it. Still a really well-hit pass. Brodigan back into the 6-yard box. The follow-up was hoping for the bottom corner. Holly Palmer goes wide. Oh, that's the product of raw frustration. Not a bad result. Just needed the shot on target. First sub of the game is coming up. Bonnie Davies is coming on for the goal scorer here, Ash Brodigan. Interestingly enough, Davies was actually announced by Newcastle in the off-season, but found herself back in Brisbane and debuting for them last weekend. Here's another look at that chance a moment ago. Brodigan's last involvement of the game was to swing that cross in, and Palmer, first-time shot. A good 1.5 metres wide. But Davies is on for just her second appearance after a great season in Queensland, where she scored 25 goals in the NPL Women's for Peninsula Power, the 23-year-old. So they'll have a fresh attacker up top. The Brisbane Roar now looking to try and win them the game. As we tick up towards 20 minutes of regulation to go. Works, able to turn and shoot. Catches the side netting. In the blink of an eye, Fiona Wirtz able to make something happen. So the Raw defence on notice as to just how quickly it can unfold with some of these Sydney attackers. Scarpelli goes for distance, but Margot Chevet able to make the intercept. The head of Kirkup. Now Davies, first involvement for the sub. Bit of an awkward back pass, but McCormick able to clear. Now Davies can attack into space. Chevet comes across. Kirkup, the 30-year-old, playing just a 5th career game this season. Can score a goal, scored 10 in the NPL for Lions during the winter, even though she's taking up a right-back position here for the Brisbane Roar. Yald to Davies. And the sub just wanted to feel the boot through the ball, but that was ultimately an unchallenging shot for the goalkeeper to watch wide. I suspect that the intent was always to shoot, just didn't quite catch it with the venom that she might have been hoping for. Well, the Raw thought they were away, but the foul goes Sydney's direction. Kruger winning the free kick. Norrie guides the ball to Kirkup, and now look at Palmer. Look at the midfield space, but Kirsty Fenton identified the danger, came in off the left flank and was able to close it down, and now can repel in the other direction. Works. Brings the ball under control, but as you can see, not many passing avenues open, so Fenton says, I'll do it. Now the left back has ventured all the way forward, but has to concede ground to Beanie. Jimeth. Vine. Courtney Vine trying to find a way through. Norrie blocks that channel. Fenton up for the header. Caspers. Holman. Sydney working, trying to find a gap. Forward is the shout from the sideline. Holman. Well, forward wasn't the answer in the end. Back to Tumeth. Now hugging the touchline. Vine with Fryer for company. And Sean Fryer's done very well to win the ball away. Corbin. Now the Raw's turn to build. Mia Corbin sliding it on. Davies. Oh, was there a body check there? Not really, just an incidental collision, and so the ball runs down to Jada Wyman. Chevet from deep, straight onto the boot of McCormick. But then given back, Fenton. Ebini. Fenton stepping through the left. Kruger. Ebini with it all to do. Tries to hurdle over Norrie. Free kick given. Ebini was nearly away. Ish Norrie brought her to ground in the end. Free kick wasted by Sydney FC though. Raw immediately win possession back. Yallop. And Thompson sliding off the outside of the boot for a Sydney FC throw. Here's another look at that collision. Well, Ebini led with the arm, and then Norrie knocked it to the ground, and Norrie got up asking for a foul for the arm bar there. Here's Yallop. And now Fryer. You know, once she gets up to top speed, she can be lightning quick, but Yallop has been played into space here, and this is promising for the Raw. Big gaps to exploit. Yallop took on Chevet, couldn't get past. Back to Norrie. Holly Palmer calling for the ball. Palmer tried to slide it out to the flank, and Palmer follows up with a pop shot. Sliced it wide in the end. And that search for a first goal since December 2022 continues for Holly Palmer. More just opportunistic than decisive. Final 15 minutes then. Who will step up and win the game? It needs a creator out there at the moment. It needs someone to inspire. See, the total number of shots is 32 combined between the teams, but just the 2 goals to show for it. And here comes number 33, and that's easily held by Jada Wyman after the little slice wedge from Bonnie Davies. Let's take another look at the chance from a moment ago. Yallop squared it, and then Davies, the shot on sight. Just didn't generate the power. Fenton just wanted to will the ball forward at all costs. It's difficult for Caspers to control. Now Palmer. Yallop. Here's Davies. Given away. Caspers. Ebini breaks central. Kirkup following. Ebini, tough pass to control again, this time for Wirtz. And Silkowitz driving the clearance, but Thompson can't rein it in. So Sydney FC get a throw in down in their attacking third, and there's going to be more activity on the substitutes bench. And it looks like Maddie Casper's number is up as she leaves the ground over on the outer side. And we did flag this in the first half that Taylor Ray would get a shot. On she comes. Closing in on game number 50, Taylor Ray. 47th appearance in the A-League Women's for the one-cap Australian international. Of course, has had a torrid run with injury. Taylor Ray is on, and she can make a real impact here with just over 10 minutes of regulation to go. Raw, in the meantime, feel as though they're working their way towards the go-ahead goal. So confirmation of that sub, the youngster Maddie Casper's off for Taylor Ray. Here's Fryer, puts the head down and burrows into the penalty area, lifts up the cross. Oh, it's been bobbled and in for an own goal if the whistle does not intervene. And Bonnie Davies can protest, but it looks like it is a foul rather than a goal. Well, you be the ref. Let's have another look. Fryer lifted it in, and the collision there by Davies determined to be enough to disallow the goal. Ebini. Silkowitz tempted out of the area this time. Fryer. Chimeth. Kruger. Vine deep over on the right. Taylor Ray. We'll always look to keep things ticking over, but Ish Norrie says, this is my midfield. Went in with a big challenge there and was able to win the ball. Sydney FC, though, retained possession through the left. Fenton can't find a way past Kirkup. Once, twice, 3 times, but 4th time lucky. Fenton's away. And now a bending ball through the right channel. Vine will run it down on the tight angle, but puts it into the side netting, even though Wirtz was waiting in the middle. Well, it was a tough ball to do something with. There is an apology there from Courtney Vine. She made ground, but could not steer it in. And that was persistence from Fenton. You see Vine got to the ball, but the angle was a bit acute, and Wirtz made a clever run there at the back post. She was free as a bird. Into the last 10 minutes we tick. Vine going to work again. Gets goal side of Thompson, but not Scarpelli. Kruger following up. Kruger misses Ebini with the pass. Look at Fenton charging through. Refused to give up on the ball on the lush surface. And Fenton ran it down. Goes for the nutmeg on Kirkup. And Kirkup and Davies are able to clear it away. Did not let the ball go dead there, Kirsty Fenton. That was a determined sprint down to the corner. And maybe that'll be a team lifting act for Sydney FC. Fenton, right-footed cross this time, headed away by Scarpelli. Corbin back helping out the defence. Taylor Ray. Fenton. Through comes Norrie, but that pass is anticipated by Chimeth. Ray. Taylor Ray looks up at a wall of orange players. Holman attempted to switch flanks. Kirkup out to the header, and then Davies is able to get around Holman. Bonnie Davies off and running. Has got Fryer on the wing and uses Fryer now. Corbin a lone hand in the middle. Cut back, misses Davies, and the opportunity is lost for the Raw. Courtney Vine. And Tegan Thompson stands tall. Does not let Vine through. Gives away the throw, but there was a lot of open field behind Tegan Thompson there. Taylor Ray. Now Zara Kruger Wirtz combining with Kruger. Abini calls for the pass. Abini cuts it back, but it's all Brisbane Roar in the penalty area. Wirtz was caught behind more than one defender. Kirkup shanks the clearance. Danger not yet averted, and Kruger on the turn. Can't dip it in time as it sails out for a goal kick. 7 minutes of regulation to go. And the subs are coming, and they're coming late. Kaya Stevenson coming on for the Brisbane Roar. 18 Keane for Sydney FC. So Holly Palmer's number is up. Stevenson on for fresh legs in midfield. It's been a good shift from Holly Palmer. Stevenson still waiting for that first A-League women's goal. Appearance number 13 today for the 21-year-old. Yallop floats it out to Fryer. Isolated against Tumeth. And Tumeth stand up defending. Fryer persists. Cuts it back. Davies blocked away. Chevet was in the right position. Wyman came out, kept the ball off the head of Corbin. And then Abini cleared away. Sydney can go end to end. Fiona Wirtz is off and running. And sets a task for Kruger against Kirkup, and Kirkup diffuses the danger. Bit of conjecture over who's got the throw. And that both players went and picked up a ball, trying to convince the referee. And now the sub will go through for 18 Keane, who's standing next to the fourth official and is eventually on. And Fiona Wirtz's number is up, so 18 Keane, the young attacker, comes on for Fiona Wirtz, who definitely had chances in the game, but ultimately unable to add to her tally of 3 for the season. Well, the most argued overthrow-in of the season has finally been given Sydney's way. Fenton. Keane trying to get involved immediately. Kirkup clears. Holman. Fenton. Drifting ball. Vine read it best in the air. Vine jags wide, cuts it across. Kirkup's headed to clear. Ray, Abini, still Abini. And the Raw defence stands tall again. A sea of legs in the penalty area. Raw get the ball clear, at least as far as out of the box. Sydney coming back in though once again. Taylor Ray, Courtney Vine back to goal. And this time it's Yallop who makes the clearance. McLean. Ray. Holman. Oh, Vine was maybe coming back from an offside position. And it slides through to Silkowitz, who went down to the feet of Keane and was able to break in the ball. Vine back up to full speed, chasing in defence here. Perhaps affected the pass. Volunteered back to Chevet. Fenton against Davies, just trying to hold her up. Fenton's pass. It's going to fall into a midfield mix, and Davies misses the mark. Ray out to Vine on the wing. 18 Keane with the underlapping run. Keane against Scarpelli. Vine to Ray. Raw defending in numbers. And those numbers ultimately win them the ball back. Fryer, counter-attack, not quite going at breakneck speed. She's able to bring the ball forward. Stevenson. And the Raw can reset at the centre of their defence now. Scarpelli. Stevenson. And Davies perhaps started a little bit too wide to curl around onto that pass. So will we get a winner? This game was 1-1 at half-time. It's been full of attacking intent, but the clock is now becoming the enemy of both sides here. Just 2 minutes of regulation to go. We haven't really had any significant stoppages in the second half. Thankfully, no injuries. Neither team has emptied the bench, so plenty of subs left unused. Still haven't seen Jordan Thompson or Janaea Dos Santos for Sydney FC, or Deborah Ann Delaharp, the new signing, or Holly McQueen for the Brisbane Roar. As Sydney are on the move through the right. Vine has got 18 Keane in the middle, and Tegan Thompson gets the points on this occasion as Vine knocks it out for a goal kick. Well, you think that neither team would be happy with the draw. It means that Roar would be winless in 7, albeit on 10 points and only 1 point out of the top 6 ahead of the remaining games. For Sydney FC, it would certainly hurt their aspirations to win the title, because even if you gave them 6 points for the 2 games in hand, that would only be enough to bring them level with Perth Glory, and it wouldn't be enough, factoring in the games in hand, to get them ahead of Melbourne City. Vine. Jagging in Courtney Vine. Surrounded by Raw players. It was 1-on-4 by the end of that phase. 30 seconds of regulation to go. Holman to the edge of the box. Vine getting back to her feet. And the referee's seen a free kick going the Raw's way. Tamiki Yallop is cramping here. You can see in the background here. It's been quite a day of running for Tamiki Yallop, no less than you'd expect from the 32-year-old. Game 147 in the A-League today, so it'll be a big celebration in a couple of weeks' time when she raises game number 150. And for the first time in the second half, the trainer's being called. So even though we just got 2 minutes of additional time announced, that's probably going to be bumped up to 3 purely by virtue of this delay here. They must have had an emergency pickle juice out behind the goal, because that arrived before the trainer did. Do wonder who's happier with the draw out of this game. Can't really make a case for either team, given some of the dominant spells they've had in the match. They'll both feel as though they've done enough to score a second goal and win the game. Alex Smith still waiting for that first win in charge. Certainly righted the ship after the 5-1 defeat in Canberra. Draw against Wanderers, seemingly on course for a draw here against Sydney FC, but they are losing track. All right, let's take another look at a flashpoint earlier in the half. Jada Wyman colliding with Bonnie Davies. It was Shay Holman. Her first reaction was own goal, but the referee's whistle intervened, and it meant that it was chalked off almost immediately. And this is a bad cramp for Tamiki Yallop here, because even with the pickle juice, even with treatment, it is going to eat up the entirety of the original 2 minutes of stoppage time that was signalled. So it's going to be all on the generosity of the referee here to sort out. I think you can probably assume that we're going to be going to about 4 minutes now in order to win the game. It is a bad cramp for Tamiki Yallop. Hopefully it is not worse. Of course, that has Matilda's implications as well. If it's worse than a cramp, if it's a calf tear or something of that nature. For now, though, take it on face value that it is just a bad cramp, and the Raw will keep us posted. So, quite the delay, almost 3 minutes. We've had the ball dead. And we can start stoppage time here. Will there be a late winner at Leichhardt Oval? Of course, the home of Unite Round on the Friday and the Saturday in the Liberty A-League. Vine. Here's Keane. Abini making space on the left. Not many numbers in the middle, though. Abini. And Kirkup, good stand-up defending. And the ball just stalled on the line there. Kirkup eventually booting it away. Kirsty Fenton coming up to take the throw. Taylor Ray. Kruger. Abini. Ray did well to make space. Kruger at the byline. The cutback's on. And Tegan Thompson followed Courtney Vine all the way over from the opposite flank. Vine's appealing for a corner. The ultimate decision is a goal kick. It was good making of space there from Taylor Ray. And so that might be enough for the referee to blow for full time. 2 minutes were signalled. 2 minutes were spent treating Tamiki Yallop, and now with 4 minutes up, is there one last phase of play for either team to win this game? Deborah Ann Delaharp has been subbed on for Tamiki Yallop, so a raw debut deep into stoppage time for the former Sydney FC player. And she might be involved right here. Delaharp sliding it on to Corbin. Oh, it was nearly the late twist in the tail. Sydney FC will have to go end-to-end with precision. Kruger finds Abini. The crowd roars. They want one last attack. 18 Keane caught behind Jenna McCormick. Here's the clearance. Abini. Whistle's not in the mouth just yet. Sydney can attack once more. Abini to Vine. And Tegan Thompson did not read the script. Puts it behind for a corner kick. And prevents the hero walking off with the Hollywood ending. Still one more corner. Raw's night defending is not yet done, and Sydney pick their moment to commit numbers up. One last hurrah to try and win it at the end of the night. Fenton wins the header, got no power behind it, a sea of legs in the penalty area, and the ball is cleared, met with the full-time whistle. Both teams have to settle for a draw. A really hard-fought contest at Leichhardt Oval. And after Brisbane Roar took an early lead, Sydney FC's equaliser on the stroke of half-time would be the last of the scoring. Courtney Vine had more chances, but leaves with just the one, as do Sydney FC. Full-time at Leichhardt Oval, Sydney FC 1, Brisbane Roar 1. And so at the end of a compelling second half, Brisbane Roar were the ones who set the tone for the game after absorbing for the first 10 minutes. Ash Brodigan able to strike with her first goal in Brisbane Roar colours to make it 1-0. Sian Fryer getting the assist. And so that was Brisbane into the lead at the end of the first half. Sydney FC would find their answer. Again, the story of the assist as much as the goal. Kirsty Fenton getting the better of Beck Kirkup and then bending it into the path of Courtney Vine. Her second goal this season, her 28th career A-League women's goal, and her first against one of her former teams, the Brisbane Roar. And so that was the halftime score, 1-1. It's how it would end. Not for a lack of trying in the second half, and both teams will no doubt look at the ladder and be very dissatisfied with what a draw has done for them. And so other than the full-time score, here's what the numbers tell us. In the end, Raw dominated possession, finishing at almost 60% after controlling play from start to finish. Pretty disciplined game in the end, 17 total fouls. Look at that total number of shots, though. An extraordinary tally, and ultimately only the 2 total goals to show for it. So, big day of A-League Women's continuing tomorrow with 4 games. Don't miss them. My name's Teo Pellizzeri. On behalf of the entire crew, it's good night.